Launch sequence activated. Prepare for light speed.
Intelligent, keeping the missing relevant with Mr. E, Mrs. E. Let's not forget the sweet and E, and of course the best Grandy, unraveling these mysteries. Stay a while and share your thoughts. Help us break down this mystery. Grab a seat, we guarantee you're in wonderful company. Unraveling these mysteries with Mr. and Mrs. E.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Mr. E True Crime Weekly Crimecast. I know that's a little different. I'll have to get used to that. I am Mr. E. I am joined today by Mrs. E and our guest, Aunt E. Thank you to everyone for coming in and joining us here. See a lot of our favorite people. Panda Bear's mom, Nicey Marie. Let's see, the Hen House 2024, Blue Skies and Sandy Beaches. Which I guess you changed your name. It used to be Dreaming of Blue Skies and Sandy Beaches. Real Me Too. Honestly, Becky P. So thanks for coming in and joining us here. We just a couple of days ago did our members only live, which was great. It was a lot of fun to have several of folks come up on panel with us and talk about things they were interested in. We talked about all kinds of different topics and, of course, a few different stories as well. In fact, one of those that is in here now is Panda Bear's mom, who came up and really filled us in a great way on a missing person story that we're going to get into here shortly. Mrs. E, anything before we kind of get into it?
I'm just really happy today.
Are you? Oh yeah. So we did this weekly crime update last week and went about 3 hours, I think, or so. Our goal was to make it more like an hour and a half.
That's not why I'm happy.
Yeah, but I'm good. But because today we are picking up our kids from summer camp, we're not going to go over today because we've got places to go. So the kids have been away all week, and at least our two youngest have, and so we've now got a firm deadline. We can't just go on and on. We'll actually have to leave. So we are excited to see them back. Not used to having the kids gone that long.
I didn't realize how much of a hole it leaves when, the bulk of the kids are gone. So
yeah, so it becomes a very quiet house when that happens.
It does, and
not that quiet.
Well, there's still the three of us and the two dogs. So
yeah,
it's just not the same. It's just not right when they're not here. You know how that is. But so like I said, so Panda Bear's mom has a connection to this story that I want to share today. So we're going to start with a missing person case, and let me pull that up here.
Real Me Too says I have to pick up my grandson too. He always spends the weekends with grandma. I'm excited about it.
Oh yes, that's great. Well, you'll have a wonderful weekend.
Well, the thing is about this camp, though, is that there's absolutely no contact.
Right.
So they can't have electronics. The only reason they would call home is if they got in trouble in some way, and we haven't had any phone calls. So
right.
Our kids don't get in trouble though. So.
I was going to say the pictures help because you know that they're having fun.
Yes.
Yeah, you could actually tell because they hadn't been to this camp before. You could actually tell as it's gone on, they were having more fun.
Right.
Like
started out a little unsure.
Yeah, you can kind of see they're not quite, and now that they're at the end, you can tell they were really in the groove of it, you know.
Yes.
So it is nice to have the pictures posted.
Yeah, no electronics, and they don't have air conditioning in their cabins. It's rustic.
Yeah.
And it's only been about 104 heat index where you are this week. So.
Right.
Been a great week for that, right?
Poor
it's
kids.
worse.
They're gonna be freezing when they get home.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm
I know.
much further south, and it's been a full 10 degrees cooler here than so where you are.
We had such a cool spring.
Mm-hmm.
We're not ready for the heat in a way, so it feels, it feels overwhelming right now.
It does.
Even though it's really not that unusual for us this time of year. It's just the spring lasted longer than normal for us.
Right.
But this is the story that Panda Bear's mom talked about, and she's got a connection to the family, and she's been advocating for them, for this young man. This is Devlin Tate, and if you haven't heard the story, he's now been missing since April 21st, 2025. He's 18 years old, and he's got a variety of medical conditions. He had fetal alcohol syndrome when he was born. He has cerebral palsy, ADHD, autism, a chromosome disorder, and then I started kind of after we talked to Panda Bear's mom about this story. She went on to kind of talk about the whole situation and the disappearance, and I knew of him being missing, but I really didn't know the details of it. So where he's from is a small town. It's just 2,000 people. So it'd be the kind of thing where everybody knows everybody. And the last he was seen, he was leaving a supermarket at about 8:30 in the morning, and he typically would be back home doing whatever he did during the day by about 6 or 8 o'clock that night. And then that's when I guess people realized something was wrong, because he it was like clockwork. He would not miss coming home or contacting people. There's some unusual things about his story, of course. With autism, you always just wonder if people have wandered off, eloped, that kind of thing. And that's kind of the first thing you tend to think. But there are some strange things around this case. So I started doing a little research on it yesterday. There's a lot of odd details surrounding it, so I'm not sure what happened to him. But I think there's a lot of possibilities. There's some strange details, like he left his cell phone in a laundromat.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things Panda Bear's mom told us is that allegedly he was not allowed to charge his phone at home, and so he would take his phone to charge at the laundromat, and that's just kind of strange.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some things about maybe that were going on in his life, that maybe he had some bullying issues at school that had been reported. And early on in life, there are stories that I found where he was not treated particularly well as a young child. Being put, one of the allegations I saw was that he was in his nursery, the windows would be blacked out with black paint on the walls and black painted crib, so that he would sleep longer. There were a lot of odd kind of allegations being made.
Wow.
So we're going to have to do a deeper dive into his story and find out what's true and not true, and try to get to the heart of what's going on there.
Wow.
Also,
it kind of reminds me of in the community that we lived in, grew up in. There were a couple guys very similar to his that just roamed town. Everybody knew them, but everybody treated them nicely. There might have been a few people that made fun of them, but it was never anything that would be considered bullying. They were really well liked. Everybody knew who they were, and they were brothers. And
you were especially kind to them.
Yeah, but a lot of people I knew, all my friends, we were all nice to them throughout. And
I know, but they loved you. They loved you.
It reminds me so much of probably the area he grew up in, and walked around town, and it was nothing to walk around town. We didn't have cell phones back then,
right?
That's what it reminds me of. Are those two particular brothers in my town that used to and they had some mental issues and some health issues and other things, but they were just always happy and nice, and everybody loved them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he I was trying to get a sense for him a little bit as a person. I'm gonna spend more time researching and going through the missing Facebook groups on him and such, but seemed like he was interested in fishing, had the uh, maturity of around an 8 to 12-year-old is kind of what different people were saying. And he's 18, of course, but capable enough to go to the store, go to the laundromat to charge his phone, um, and that kind of thing. And I see that Panda Bear's mom was putting up prayer hands with blue hearts. Was blue his favorite color? So is that kind of the color for Devlin? Oh, and Lake Odessa, Michigan. That's where he went missing. So anything could have happened to him. He's been gone 2 months now. It is possible he wandered, left on his own. Could have met someone online. There's a lot of possibilities. He could be out there somewhere. It could have been foul play, could have been an accident. I think everything's sort of on the table with him. But just take 5 seconds to look at that face, burn it into your memory, especially if you're up in that Michigan area. And who knows, you might see him out there. He did leave his phone at the laundromat, which one of the things we kind of talked about is, we're all, special needs or not special needs, we're all glued to our phones. Typically, we don't leave our phones at a laundromat to go leave.
Was it actually left charging, or was it just left there?
Left charging, right?
Left charging is our understanding.
Okay.
But I'm going to have to spend more time to make sure I get to because there's a lot of weird stuff like this in this case that I've seen already. And so it's going to take some time.
We're going to do a deep dive on it.
Yeah, we're going to do a deep dive.
That's probably going to be our Tuesday.
I think I want to do that Tuesday is kind of the plan, because unless the only reason we wouldn't do it Tuesday, I think, is if some major breaking news happened in like Jack and Lily or Sebastian. And then we might just move this to a different day. But as of right now, I think I want to do this Tuesday night, and that'll give me enough time to really understand the case and what happened here. But,
and for those of you who don't know, we have tried to start doing a regular schedule. We're going to try to do Tuesday nights for deep dives, Friday mornings or Friday afternoon, depending on our schedule that day, for true crime, like a weekly recap of the news stories. And then who knows, if there's breaking news, obviously. So
Panda Bear's mom, I know you're very invested in the case. If you have any articles, interviews, anything like that you think might be helpful, details, please feel free to send that to me. I might reach out to you also, and just if I have questions.
Yeah, there's red flags all over this.
Because I know you know. Is her name Sabrina? I think the
aunt.
The family dynamics are confusing also, because he was adopted by a family member within the family. So some like people that are a grandmother are now also a sister, and so like the family tree is going to get really confusing. So that's part of why I need some.
I'll do a family tree if that helps.
We might have to on the key people. But anyway, so we just wanted to share that. I think we're going to try to do that every Friday too. Is take a few minutes to highlight one of these missing person stories. And of course, we have an older son with autism, so these in particularly emotionally we get attached to them.
Yeah, Real Me Too says, I think he met with foul play. I hope I'm wrong. Yeah, I hope we're all wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. So the first story I want to get into is the Diddy trial. So I'm going to pull up here just so we kind of have
it's very small.
I didn't mean to do that. I just wanted to, this is really small.
It's pretty small.
I was just going to try to pull up a picture of the can I view gallery maybe? I
don't know.
Yeah, I was just just to have something on the, so they don't have cameras in this courtroom. How do I do you know how I can enhance or enlarge?
I know how to do it on my computer, but I don't know how to do it on that one.
Okay. Well,
I need to get you a trackpad, kind of like the laptop, so that you can make things bigger and smaller.
Gotcha. So this case or this trial has been going on now for weeks, and we are now kind of at the end of it. So I'm going to pull up. All right. So this is all from USA Today. So yesterday, June 26th, prosecutors did their closing arguments. They did about 6 hours, and they chose not to bring up any real defense. They didn't call any witnesses, where the prosecution had brought up 30. And we've seen that strategy a couple of times before, where the defense will just really not put up a defense. And I think maybe the strategy, I'm guessing, is that you want to paint the picture to the jury that you don't even need to defend, that the prosecution didn't do enough. It's incumbent on them to make the case. They didn't do it. Here's our argument. We don't really need to call any more witnesses. I think that may be the thinking on that.
I'm worried. I'm really worried he's going to get off completely scot-free.
Oh, you think so? Just because of the
Well,
celebrity?
I mean, I know the prosecuting closing arguments lasted like 5 hours or something. They had this presentation and they hit all these things. And then the defense was not nearly as long, and basically considered it like absurdity, their claims. And I'm just like, gosh, that's a bold strategy to not come up with a better defense than the absurdity of the prosecution's claims.
So kind of like the Megan Boswell defense.
Yeah, it is.
It's
Kind
the
of. Yes. But I'll let you go ahead. But I kind of read over the summary and was just kind of surprised at the way it was handled.
I was just going to go a little bit back over what happened during the trial. We didn't follow that day by day. It was a really long, it lasted, I think, a month and a half or so.
Oh, yeah.
But they called up 30 witnesses. And the things he's being charged with are trafficking and transportation to engage in prostitution, and also racketeering. Yes, so he is involved in the racketeering charges. So this all went on for years. Started back in 2016. A variety of incidents, paying people to do a variety of kind of disgusting acts, really, and that the idea of the RICO charges and the racketeering is that it was all not just individual crimes, but racketeering is when it becomes a group crime.
That was their big thing. Was they were saying it was a criminal enterprise that he had established.
Okay, hold on one more time.
So there is no verdict yet at this point, of course, and it looks like everything is expected to conclude today. There was a story that got out there that some of the charges had been dropped, but that's not exactly right. What they did is they withdrew some of the criminal allegations, basically trying to streamline the allegations, really just to make it a little simpler for the jury to comprehend.
Right.
And he's still facing what he's facing. If he's found guilty, he is looking at a minimum of 15 years in prison and could serve up until life in prison. He, of course, is 55 years old and has 7 children, the youngest being 18. And so, it's just so rare to see people in a powerful position like P. Diddy.
Were you surprised, though, that more people didn't come out as witnesses, like more famous people that were part of it, or saw it and didn't agree with what they saw and thought that it was bad? I just thought there would be a couple that would just say, I went, it was horrible, what was going on. It was complete,
I think people are afraid.
Oh, I'm sure
it ruin them. I mean, look at the people that have stood up against this stuff. They get ruined. They get excommunicated from Hollywood,
or executed.
well, there's that.
Yeah. I mean, they get threatened, or they end up unaliving themselves, which we all know is usually, not true. So. Right. But I just thought one of the things that got me was the defense, which I know they're not finished yet, but they were saying he was this caring provider for these people, and I'm like, oh my gosh, after what we've seen and even video footage of, he was definitely he might have thrown money at problems, but he was not a caring provider.
No.
Yeah. So So yeah, so that will be interesting. I guess we could have a verdict next week. Likely.
They said that they could start deliberating today, and they had they thought about an
okay.
hour. They thought about an hour today of the. It was after defense closing, the prosecutorial rebuttal that's expected to last about an hour, and then they'll give the jury all the instructions, and they could start as early as today, or they could just say, "Here's all your instructions. We're going to start fresh on Monday." So they may do that as well.
If you're wanting to kind of go back and see a lot of stuff from the trial, Lauren Conlon has been covering it. Inner City Press,
City Press is really good.
Those
too.
two have been really good, like in the courtroom reporting daily on it. So I'd recommend checking them out if you'd like kind of a deeper dive on it.
It's funny. Nicey Marie kind of did your transition for you.
Oh wow.
Let's see. So Nicey Marie says, did you all see the Florida sheriff got arrested for racketeering? Also, the one that took Maddie's deceased body, Marcos Lopez. His wife was arrested with a big group. Yeah, I was going to pull that one up too. So we'll just go.
Switching right on over.
Yeah, we'll just go right to it. So this is he up?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the sheriff she's talking about. So his name is this is Osceola County. Is that the Orlando? That's Orlando because there's two counties in Orlando, right?
It's Orange and Osceola.
Orange and Osceola, yes.
Yeah. So this is Sheriff Marcos Lopez, and he's been arrested on charges of racketeering and conspiracy.
Oh, Nicey Marie, it's fine. We're trying to keep a good, smooth transition. So you helped us.
Yes. We're trying to avoid the 3-hour recap. So
yeah,
no, that's great. This is we're wanting to spend about 5 or 10 minutes on each of these stories today. But yeah, you helped us with the segue. Actually,
yes, thank you. Oh, sorry.
I know you've missed your cue.
I didn't hear you say the word.
Yeah. So
see, we're getting fancy with our production.
Yeah, we're gonna be big time here soon.
Yeah, I mean, like Howard Stern.
It is.
It's.
But he is so obviously, a sheriff has a lot of power over and allowing crimes to happen in his county, and this one is centered around gambling. So it's racketeering and conspiracy to commit racketeering charges, which are all first-degree felonies, and he's alleged to be part of a criminal organization operating a gambling enterprise with over $21.6 million in profit, and that he personally profited from this. There are 4 other co-defendants that were initially arrested and charged: Carol Coate, Sharon Fedrick, Sheldon Weatherholt, and Ying Zhang, and then. So that's what he's facing there. Of course, he's lost his job. There's a new sheriff that's been appointed, and he is out on bond, a $1 million bond. He had to prove that $1 million or his bond was not funded by the gambling enterprise. And of course, Lopez is connected to the Maddie Soto case,
right?
What was it that Nicey Marie said? That he was he the one that
he handled the body.
Yeah, so he was at the crime scene.
He
took
her deceased body.
And of course, the Maddie Soto case. This the Stephen Stearns, the stepfather that.
And that case too just still blows me away that the mom has not gotten not one charge against her, and they as of right now have no intention of charging her with anything.
That trial will be starting soon.
Yes,
Stephen Stearns.
Yes, it is supposed to start. Death penalty is on the table, and trial is set for September 2025.
Oh, I thought it was July.
No, it's September.
So
he's facing other. I think I was reading that it's for the what's on his phone, the images on his phone, because he's got 2 different. Right. I think that one starts July 15th. I thought.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Right.
Well, it says his charges are 1st-degree unaliving.
Yeah.
S battery and possession of child S abuse materials.
That
Right.
might be that might have to be a Patreon or a Rumble cover. I don't think we can do
And
that
they
on here.
have said, the state attorney general has said they will be seeking the D penalty.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, if anybody deserves the the death penalty, that it's Stearns. I mean, I you know,
Yes, he's going up
that-
for the
that-
SA first.
that's as bad as it gets.
But
Um,
the actual unaliving is the one that starts in September. That those charges.
Right.
I think he's got 2 different cases going on.
I mean, he should get the death penalty just for what was on his phone, honestly, in my opinion.
Oh, yes, yes.
Maybe not according to the law, but just if I were king kind of thing, you know. So the kind of update to this story with the Osceola sheriff is that his wife, or a estranged wife, they're in the middle of a divorce that's been going on the last couple of years. But her name is also been arrested with a connection to this. She's also being charged with a conspiracy to commit racketeering and conspiracy to use her investment proceeds from racketeering in connection to her husband's alleged illegal gambling operation. She had a bond set at $400,000. She has not, to my knowledge, posted that bond yet, and they're saying that she profited personally, or that she helped move, launder, I suppose is what they mean, $600,000 to $700,000 worth of those funds. Even though they've been separated since 2019, they do share a child that's 15 years old, and began a divorce in 2023. And so what they're looking at is her finances, where she had a reported monthly income, and her bank statements are not lining up with her earnings. And so that's where the suspicion, I guess, is coming in, and where the evidence will eventually point. She'll be in court July 21st of this year. And she was also a deputy sheriff. So, you know, it's, of course, it is awful when we have these sheriffs that get involved in this. It makes you wonder what's gone on in that county prior. If they can be bought off, you know, to what degree does the corruption run? Okay. Oh, good to see you, Nick the Hat. Of course, putting up the green hearts for Sebastian and Sebastian Rogers, who we talked about earlier this week with some new theories, and Nick and his group, of course, they're still working diligently on trying to find answers for what happened to that young man also. Of course, the first story we talked about today with Devlin Tate, it reminds you of, in a way, of the Sebastian story. And, you know, when you have these kids with special needs, that there are people in society, we're supposed to do everything we can to protect special needs children and our elderly. So we need to help Devlin out, because he may not have been capable of helping himself. You know what I mean? So good to see you, Nick, and everybody's lighting it up green for Sebastian. So hopefully we'll have some news on that case too. But Robin and this sheriff, this operation looked like it had been going on quite a while for many.
That's you know, it's sad when you've got law enforcement involved in these kinds of things, but it just goes to show you, in regards to the Sebastian case, you know, there are things that go on with law enforcement that aren't always on the up and up, and they can sometimes be involved in the underbelly of the crime world as well.
You know, any unsolved case, there always ends up being people going, oh, well, it's because the sheriff's corrupt, the deputies are corrupt, these people. And, you know, there's that kind of part of you that goes, oh, you know, that's nonsense. It's not true. But then you have these kind of stories in a major county in Orlando where
Right.
somebody's making, you know, they're covering up for a gambling ring. And it makes you lose faith in our whole system a little bit, you know?
Yeah, it does.
And so it's terrible for all law enforcement to have people like this. Of course, they need to be caught. But it's such a shame, because it just it puts such a dark cloud over all the great law enforcement people out there. But we'll follow that. I think it's interesting. It took years to put that case together. Those RICO kind of cases are complicated, and they have to monitor and watch. And so if you're thinking there might be other criminal organizations out there, you have to be patient with those.
Right.
It does take some time to bring those down, and a lot of monitoring and snitches.
I don't know if you guys knew this, but Florida now has a law on the books that legally allows for the D penalty for S battery cases for children under the age of 12 and under. So they can they don't have to be unaliving. It can be just an S battery case, and they can get a death penalty charge. They've got one in court right now over it, but nobody has been, no one has yet been sentenced or actually executed under that law yet.
That just passed?
Yes, it's been recent, but it's on the books now.
I would imagine. So how old was Maddie? Was she 13?
I think she was older than 12, but this one
she just turned 13.
Yeah, because she had that birthday.
She had her
party.
birthday
Yeah.
So I don't know if that ruling was, that choice was because of that, but that was an unaliving. This is just S battery that they can get the death penalty.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, me too.
Let's do it in every state.
Yes, yeah. But I just think that's Florida's usually on the forefront of those kinds of things.
Oh, okay. So it looks like Idaho's on board too.
Oh,
honestly,
great.
Becky P says Idaho just made a law that SA under the age of 12 or 12 years is punishable for 30 years or death penalty, or DP. Sorry. Also, DP is by shooting squad. Yay,
Ooh.
Idaho! Wow.
I don't know the specifics of the Florida law, what the terms are, and that as it goes. But that was something I just saw earlier this week on a newscast about it, and I was like, oh, that's something that, as it relates to Maddie, I wasn't sure of her age exactly when they were saying they were charging him. I mean, but she was already 13 when she was unalived.
She had her party the day before.
Yeah. So, but they've already said he was, DP.
Yeah, I've
got friends that would go move to Idaho just to be part of that shooting squad.
Oh,
I know. I know.
They're probably thinking right now, I think I might enjoy Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
So some of my buddies might enjoy that. Wow, that's crazy though.
Yeah, I'm just glad that states are jumping on board with that kind of thing. Maybe it'll nip some of this in the bud.
Well, I
agree
with perfectly imperfect. Boy, Mom, I wish that would be a nationwide law.
Yeah, I mean that's because these people. I mean,
there's got to be stiffer penalties.
You listen to all the psychologists and people that study those people; they're not curable. So the slap on the wrist and the probations and stuff,
it doesn't work.
Doesn't work. You just got to get them out of society. Either put them away forever or do that. If it's not curable, then why do we let them walk until they do the most monstrous stuff imaginable?
Right.
Yeah, I have heard that Idaho is actually a great place to live. I have heard that before.
We didn't go to Idaho, did we?
We haven't.
We were close.
I hear lots of great things about it.
We were close to Idaho.
I actually have too.
We made it up to Utah and then went over from Utah to Colorado when we did our trip out west.
All right. So also wanted to unless you guys want to talk anything else about the sheriff in Osceola. Any thoughts on that
I guess the only thought I keep having is it just shows you that everyone, well, not everyone, but even law enforcement is corruptible. You know what I mean? It just shows you that, maybe we shouldn't take other cases at face value. There could be a lot more going on behind the scenes.
And we've had law enforcement in our state of Tennessee over just the last couple of years getting arrested for different corruption issues. There was one in Humboldt, Tennessee, and a jailer that was working with convicts, and there's been some stuff.
Well, the one in Millersville, which is half of it's in Sumner County and half of it is in
Davidson.
No, is it Davidson?
Yeah, I think so.
No, I think it's Robertson.
Okay.
Like Springfield.
Okay. I'm not sure. But yes.
And Aunt E. Millersville is where we went to that restaurant.
Oh yeah, the Millersville.
So
stuff.
it's really close to Sumner County.
Oh yeah,
that-
it was like 10 minutes. It wasn't far.
Uh-huh.
Because the guy that got raided there, his name's escaping me, but he either
he might know.
was the corrupt one or he was gathering evidence on the corrupt system.
Right.
From what the way I mean, because I've kind of followed that for a while, it seemed like to me that he was under fire, but he was actually undercover to try to expose what was going on, and there was so much corruption that they were attacking him. But that was one of those that it's kind of dropped off the radar. I haven't heard anything about that for quite some time.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that one in a while, so we might have to just go look and see what's been going on with that.
So just real quick, Perfectly Imperfect Boy Mom, just to kind of finish up what we were just talking about, any crimes that change the lives of children, regardless of the child's life or not, or child lives or not, should be cause for DP, in my opinion. I think I agree with your opinion.
Well, they have officially targeted one person in Florida this month in June 2025 for that ruling for an S battery case against a child under 12. So we'll see how if he gets that penalty or not. But there's one that just got filed this month. So with that new law.
And hi, BMW Coop, welcome in. And then Nick had something interesting to say.
Nick says, Nick the Hat says, Bryan Kohberger has a ton of proceedings here in Pennsylvania underway this week. I'm not sure what the relation is, but he's on the docket.
You want to go be our court reporter?
This is Nick reporting live.
What's his connection to Pennsylvania?
He's from Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. I think, isn't he? Am I crazy?
Is Kohberger originally from Pennsylvania? I didn't realize that. So I wonder what's going on. Huh. That's interesting.
Aw, Brianna's World says, Mystery, you would make a great sheriff compared to Sheriff Eric. You're very knowledgeable.
I can't. You have to have 2 years.
It's the long game. You have to get in law enforcement for 2 years before you can even turn.
And I don't think they'd hire me. But yeah, you do have to have two, because we looked at this. I don't know, a couple of live streams back. This topic came up about.
Yeah. See, I'm
sheriff
right.
in Sumner County.
I'm right.
Okay.
There's a pretrial hearing set for Monday, June 30th in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania.
Huh.
For him. There's been some new witnesses added.
I wonder what that could be.
It says multiple individuals who knew Kohberger while he lived there are appearing so the court can determine whether they're legally required to travel to Idaho for the August trial. Court documents this week confirmed 2 surprise witnesses with ties to Kohberger's time in Pennsylvania. William Searfoss, a corrections officer at the Monroe County Jail where Kohberger was held after his December 2022 arrest, and Anthony Soma, a former classmate from his law enforcement program that he was enrolled in at Monroe Career and Technical Institute. And they joined 5 other Pennsylvanians previously listed, including a boxing coach, a school advisor, a DeSales University professor, and a couple other people. And the purpose for the hearing is to determine if these Pennsylvania-based people must comply with the subpoenas and travel to Ada County, Idaho for the August trial, or if they can be excused due to the burden of travel.
Interesting.
Huh.
So that is important.
Yes, it is.
And the Real Me Too says, Mr. E. Chloe, I'm not sure how to say her last name. Leverett?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And Gage Daniel, who are siblings missing from Tennessee since 2012 and now 20 and 22, remain the subject of an Amber Alert. We were talking about this. Okay. Yes, this is that they're on our video at the end. And I started looking into all the kids that are on our video at the end. Their story is strange because they went missing in a house fire at their grandparents' house.
But there was no remains.
Yes,
but there were no remains of the children found.
Right.
It's a very, very strange.
Might have been a type of cover story.
Right. And the mother still to this day believes they are alive.
Wow.
Wow. I think we talked about it extensively. I don't want to.
We did a long time ago. We did a long time ago because I remember you saying something about that.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Well, I mean, that's another. I mean, there's so many But we could do that story too. I mean, that's interesting. 10 years they've been gone, or 12 years now, I guess.
14. Oh, 13.
Yeah, I guess it depends
Yeah.
on how we
Yeah.
ran. So
Wow.
Oh yeah. There's
That's crazy.
this keeps disappearing on me. I guess I'll try to bring this
I
back.
didn't realize that they had been that long. I knew that their pictures up and I kind of knew the story. I had no idea it was that long. I didn't pay any attention to that part.
Yeah. Let's see. But yeah, you wouldn't even know their brother and sister on our video because of the fact that they have different last names.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or that it was even, related. They do look alike if you pay attention though.
So the update on this Bryan Kohberger trial is that the Judge Stephen Hippler, he's denying the request by the defense for a delay. I heard some statements about this, and essentially the judge is going with the argument that where the defense wanted to go with the argument they needed more time, and the judge is thinking that the longer we delay, the more chance for a circus with the media to continue to have more incidents like what happened with Dateline, and that they've had plenty of time with all of this. So it's time to really get on with the trial.
Yeah, he said there was no good cause for the delay. Basically, there was just not a good cause for it.
Yeah.
Oh, and I thought that was interesting about the judge also barred the defense from presenting a theory that there was these.
Hold on.
We might need just a moment. I'm sorry.
Sorry, guys. And Real Me Too says the point she was making about the other kids was that they still remain the subject of an Amber Alert and are now adults. That's the point she was making. Yeah, they're still on the Amber Alert, and it's been 12 years.
Okay, hold on just a second.
So as of right now, the jury selection is supposed to begin August 4th. And they're thinking the trial will probably start sometime around August 18th. Another part of the defense, they were trying to present alternate perpetrators.
Yes.
And the judge is rejecting that, saying that evidence is irrelevant. And so that's kind of the meat of the.
Well, and that's basically just speculation. They're just making up a theory to try to throw it at the courts and see if it'll stick. And it's silly. They're just basically making up a story. They don't have any evidence of that.
Right. So this is. Did you both watch the Pat Brown video she did on Karen Reed about juries and having professional juries?
But I know you're passionate about it.
It was a really,
I didn't.
It was a really interesting video she did.
Sorry,
of course,
I'm trying
Pat
to
Brown's
send
a
you
criminal
some
profiler,
documents
if you
I
don't
have.
know. And she has a YouTube channel, and she just, I guess, after the Karen Reed verdict, she kind of took that as her springboard to talk about juries, and and how we don't really have faith in our jury systems, and they're flawed, and that because what we have a situation where you have juries that they don't understand the process, where the bars are. So it's kind of a crapshoot if you get the right jury that's capable of understanding the process and DNA evidence and things like that. And so she's advocating for professional jurors. It makes a pretty strong argument for it. It's all very interesting. But one of the things she started to get into was how defense attorneys and, in the appeals process will use the idea of these, like what they're saying here, these alleged perpetrators. And so they'll try to get their defendants free because the investigators ignored this other suspect. But how valid that suspect is, though, is what comes into question. So they can give the idea that detectives have failed, even if maybe they didn't. But so let's say you've got like let's say Kohberger. Let's say Kohberger is guilty of, in reality, of everything he's being alleged of. But maybe there's some other neighbor or something that has some suspicious activity. But very early on, detectives were looking at the case, and after about 10 minutes, they cleared the guy and said, "Now this guy's not part of it. This is Kohberger. That this is our guy. We're honing in." And they never really did any further investigating on the suspicious neighbor or something, just for example, right? Well, then later the defense comes back and they say, well, this was a flawed investigation. They never did a deep dive into this suspect that came in front of them. Why didn't they ever go and interview X and this and that? And that's how they try to win on appeal.
I see.
As part of what she was talking about. But so she just goes into all these different flaws in our system. And I had never really considered the idea of professional jurors before, but she makes a really strong argument for it because these cases are so complicated. And the jurors, they mean well, but DNA evidence and all of this, you almost have to be a biologist to understand, how, you have to have a certain level of education and intelligence to really grasp it. And if you don't get the right jury, then you might get the wrong verdicts,
Right.
Um,
Yeah, guys, people are saying that everyone's names are different. Yeah, it's very strange. That's just what it started doing today. I don't know if it's a glitch with YouTube or what, but it's showing everybody's full real name.
yeah, it's weird. I thought everybody was just changing their names for some reason.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I don't know who some of the people are. Like, I don't know like their full username.
Yeah.
I just know what they go by. So some of them are strange.
Yeah. So I'm not quite sure why that's happening. Maybe, some kind of glitch with YouTube, I guess.
Real Me Too watched it. She's on top of everything.
Oh, you watched the Pat Brown. Real Me Too says, I saw it and I agree some of the jurors' interviews were alarming. One saying there was reasonable doubt, but not enough. Yeah. I mean,
that's weird.
I'd be all right with professional jurors.
See, I worry about corruption.
And every time I think of juries, I think of the joke that the comedian, I don't know who the comedian was, but he would say, you're supposed to be judged by a jury of your peers. Well, my peers know how to get out of jury duty. And it's funny because there's some truth to that.
Right.
Right. Because there is some truth to that.
I've only been called once and I was 18.
Wow. I was called once when mom was really ill and I couldn't go because she required having to be going to the hospital daily for some care. And so I was having to take her every day back and forth and there was no way I could do it. And then as soon as we moved, my husband got called and he travels for work and he's like, I'm out of the state most of the time. I can't really do that very successfully. So we both have been called, but we're not able to get out of it because I wouldn't mind doing it. It's just that the times that I have been called, there was no way I could do it.
I was 18 when I was called.
I can't believe that. Usually with kids that age, they'll if you're in college or something like that, they'll be like, oh yeah, no big deal.
Well, our small town, both attorneys had represented our parents at one point. So I got out of it because of that.
Oh,
so
wow.
even the prosecutor and the defense had both at one time or another worked for our parents in some capacity. So because the DA had been private practice prior, and anyway.
Yes.
So I got out of it just for that. They're like, that was one of the questions. And I was like, yes, we know him and he's been to our house and
yeah.
I think that was mom's idea though. I think that was.
Well, I mean, yeah, when you have any kind of, and that's hard in a small town because everybody's got some kind of personal connection. I would think especially that the Murdaugh trial, for instance, it was in a small town. I can't imagine having to find jurors that didn't know anything about their family in any capacity whatsoever. I would think that would be very hard.
You'll know who this is. I had dated one of their sons too.
Oh yeah. So, I mean, it's like, small town. That's what it,
that's what it is. Right.
Yeah.
So they immediately dismissed me.
Well, that was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got called once. I don't know what we were newly married, I think, or maybe still dating. And I was traveling a lot. And I said, I travel so much that I can't, for work. And then that's the last time I've been called to heaven. And that was probably, I was around 30 or so, late 20s, early 30s when that happened.
Well, then we wouldn't have been newly married. You were younger when we got married.
I just don't remember. I mean, I don't remember exactly how old I was.
So it was probably like yesterday, because your
It
timelines
could
are
have been
terrible.
yesterday afternoon.
No. I vaguely remember that. I don't think we were married yet.
Yeah, and I was traveling all the time, so I must have been in my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So I was traveling a lot for work.
Although,
and I said, well, I can't because I've got these engagements, and there's no way for anybody to cover for me.
I believe we were married because you weren't great about keeping up with your mail, and you wouldn't have even known about it. So I bet we were married.
So I'm probably lucky I didn't get arrested for dodging jury duty, right?
What about you guys? Have you guys ever been called for jury duty? Put a 1 in chat if you have.
I actually would like to do it if life allowed it,
Right.
Like if I could
I could probably do it now. Yeah, I could probably do it now.
It's so hard to be. I mean, imagine how many people can step away from life, like in the Diddy trial for like a month and a half.
Yeah, and they get. I mean, the compensation's ridiculous, and which I realize that's the whole point is you don't want to compensate jurors because you don't want professional jurors that live to be on a jury and not have to work. But I
mean, could you imagine one of us having to step away for like 6 weeks?
I can't imagine.
I mean, life would fall apart if one of us were gone for that. It'd be very difficult. In retirement,
I think with what we do now, I don't think we'll ever be able to. I'm serious. I'm 100% serious. If
hardly anybody's could have won.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is how you get out of jury duty. You start a true crime podcast.
Start a true crime. I seriously don't think
I'm
that
the
they
Real
would
Me Too true crime podcast. I can't be on the jury duty.
I seriously think that would not be exciting to a criminal defense attorney.
Probably not. Well, that's interesting.
I agree.
There's your new strategy if you want to avoid.
We've only had a couple people put a 1 in the chat, so not a lot of people that have served on jury duty.
You'd think it's more common because everybody kind of jokes about it and stuff, but
and then there's somebody that said that they honestly Beck said she worked for CASA, so she couldn't do it. So there's a lot of people that have jobs that would exclude them. I've had to testify because of the job that I had before. When I was in the school system, I had to testify more than a couple times on cases.
So the next case I wanted to get to.
That's awesome.
This was really interesting.
The Canine CPT says I've served on a grand jury in PA before.
Oh, you have? Okay, wow, that'd be really interesting.
Yeah. Is that Canine Jules?
Well,
it's so weird. It's so weird because the names look different.
So, I don't know why it's doing
that. And then hello, Fiddly D. I saw you come in. You snuck in as well. And I'm guessing, honestly, Becky P is Becky.
It's Becky
Parmenter.
Yes, and she said she changed her name.
Oh, okay.
She changed her name.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to out you. Sorry. Might want to change that again.
She was trying to go incognito, and now you outed her.
She's honestly Becky P now.
Okay.
That's Becky P.
So who's P Harris? I don't know who everybody is.
Well, there might be some new folks joining too.
Or is that Ferris? Ferris.
At Ferris. Oh,
it could be, or it could be at P Harris.
Hey, Jude says YouTube making it hard on the mods.
It is.
I don't know what the deal is.
It's like a conspiracy. Deep dive conspiracy against
mods. Got to be a hack
mods.
of some kind, right?
It's strange. Well, it might be StreamYard that's doing it, right?
Well.
Let me look at the other. Let me look at it on YouTube. No, YouTube's doing it too.
No, so it's on YouTube too because I had it pulled up on my phone.
Yeah. Nice. Marie says, "I will be glad to be a juror, but hubby's dementia, I will not be able to be called because I'm a full-time caregiver."
What if we got called for like a case we've covered?
We wouldn't be able to do it.
No, I wouldn't be able
Not
to
ethically.
No. Well, no.
Well, I mean, we're here. I mean, it'd be pretty. easy research.
No, I wouldn't want to risk. We had talked about that. We wouldn't want to risk anything getting thrown out or mistrial.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be like an insurance claim kind of trial that you got, though.
Oh, this is interesting.
That'd be the kind of luck. The Canine CPT says
That's Jules, honey.
Yes, Jules says in the grand jury we were allowed to consider hearsay evidence, which kind of amazed me.
Huh. That is kind of amazing.
Oh, I'm glad you came. Since Jules the dog handler is here, I realized I skipped one of the stories I meant to do. So I'm because it involves dogs, actually. So did that come up, the video here?
Yes, it's up.
It's Travis Decker.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of an update on the Travis Decker case. Anything before I get into this?
I actually have a question for her.
Sure.
I heard this last night in another podcast. They were talking about cadaver dogs. Okay, this is just for Jules, because I don't know enough about dogs and dog sense and all that stuff. They said that cadaver dogs cannot come in until like 3 or 4 weeks after.
Oh.
Because of the cadaver dogs can't pick up a scent right away, like I
didn't know that.
Yes, a D body, right away.
Well, of course, that makes sense.
So I wanted to ask her if that was true, because I've never heard that before, and it's I would think it's a common misconception, because I just assumed that right after someone passes away, they emit some kind of scent that the dogs pick up on right away.
I would have thought so too.
But this person on another podcast I was listening to said no, that it's usually 3 or 4 weeks later. And I wanted to ask her. So I'm glad she's here.
Decomposition, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask her since she's here.
I would only
I do
think
not
it
know.
would take.
I mean, I could look it up, but
I was
just
only
since she's
thinking
here.
under normal conditions, though, it would only take a short amount of time before before you have an odor.
That's what I would have guessed, but maybe that's not true.
Okay.
No, that is 100% false.
Oh.
Oh.
Read it out loud.
Okay, so Jules, the dog handler, says no, that is 100% false. Cadaver canines can pick up a scent the minute decomposition begins, immediately after death. That can be a few hours even.
Well, thank you for clearing that up, because when I
did see that.
Okay. I heard it on a stream talking about Lily and Jack Sullivan, and they were saying that they had not. I did not realize this, but they had only brought in scent dogs. They had not brought in cadaver dogs yet, and the person was saying that was because the scent dogs can't pick anything up right away. And I thought that sounded weird.
It does sound weird.
And so since our canine expert is here, I thought I would ask her.
Oh, that's important.
She says that Jules, the dog handler, also says that RCMP was having a funding issue.
Interesting.
So, okay. Well, that's
thank you for answering that.
And I could see why they would use that excuse to the public, because most people aren't going to know that, and if it's a funding issue, they don't want people to know they don't have the money to afford the dogs.
Okay, real quick. Cece says, I'm supposed to serve in a federal court in August, and I don't want to do it. I think I know how I'm going to get out of it. Yes.
Cece's True Crime.
Cece's True Crime Podcast. Yes. That is the way.
Of course, if it's an insurance thing or something like that, or a car accident, then you may not.
Depending on the case, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you wouldn't want to get out of the interesting ones.
Yeah. Hey, Jude says, I've always heard that canines can detect the tiniest trace of decomp. So, okay. Well, I am actually, I'm glad to hear that, because I felt like, I don't know, it felt wrong to me, but I didn't know, I don't know enough about it I was having that kind of, that doesn't sound right, because I had always thought that it was right away, or that there's an odor that is emitted. So
that's what I would have thought too.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just having you read Canine, Jules. She's still talking about it.
Oh, yeah. So Jules says, no, RCMP was having a I read that.
Oh, okay.
Was having a funding issue.
Maybe that.
and she also says they could also have said that because they didn't want the suspect to know that cadaver canines were coming in. Think of Chad Daybell. He freaked out when they brought the dogs.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, I think it does seem like RCMP there's been a lot of strategy with what they've been doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, you might be right there. It's a good point.
And good morning, friends that are coming in. It is what it is. Rosebud, Crochet. You guys, the names are all weird. So if I'm, if I get your names wrong, let me know. The names are all, they have numbers and stuff. So
Yeah.
All right, you ready to go on to Travis Decker?
Yeah. So this is going to kind of give you the update on the latest and a little bit of a change in direction, it seems, with the search for him. Of course, if you're not familiar, Travis Decker took the lives of his 3 daughters, all elementary school age girls, and he's been on the run. He's a survivalist, military trained, and so well, here's the update. The News Nation here will speak for
Will
itself.
you make it big?
Yes. I always forget to do those things.
That's okay. Thank you.
Just because Travis Decker hasn't been caught doesn't mean he's still on the run. It could also mean that Travis Decker is dead. And by the looks of the way the search teams shifted their tactics, it is starting to look that way. In a Facebook post on Tuesday, County Sheriff said, and I quote, "There is no certain evidence that Decker remains alive or in this area." And if that's not black and white enough, authorities have now added cadaver dogs to the search teams. In the meantime, the mother of those 3 beautiful little girls who were bound at the wrists and suffocated.
Oh, my stars.
So that's what they
I can't even look.
Yeah. But that's what they were saying. So bringing in the cadaver dogs and the statement from, because they've been saying they think he's alive. That's kind of been the angle. And now they're starting to lean more toward, I think, that maybe he's gone, since there's not been a trace for him.
Oh.
So if you remember last week, that they were going to have a vigil for the girls, and the mother speaks. And so I was going to play that too, so you can hear what the mom had to say about the girls.
I'm going to take a break because I will cry. Sorry, guys.
And Rosebud, yes, I think they pretty much know for a fact that he did that. She asked if it was for a fact that he unalived them.
I think there's very little doubt in their minds. It was his truck near the scene. They were like 100 yards away down an embankment, and their hands were, and he was the one that had custody of them when
it was a very short amount of time that he had them.
Yeah. He was supposed to have them just for a few hours, I believe, because she was trying to prevent him from having custody at all or visitation at all. And that, and that led to this, because he was having some kind of mental issues, it seems. I mean, really, what else explains it, than mental illness?
Okay. Jules is saying,
do this to your own girls.
Yeah. Jules is saying, if he's alive and constantly moving, that's the only time a tracking canine could be helpful, unless he got in a car.
Right. And he had a head start on them a bit. I'm going to guess he's not alive.
I don't remember what he did in the military. Do you? Jules was asking that.
I don't know. They just said I keep seeing military training, survival training, but not what branch of the military that he was in. I don't know.
Let me see if I can find that.
I've never heard.
I'm feeling extremely emotional today, so I do not think it's good if I watch this part. So I'll go to step away for a minute. Yeah,
I'm just going to show her speaking at the vigil here, because I think she's the victim here, and what she has to say about her girls, we should all remember.
She spoke this week at a public memorial. Whitney Decker had been required by the court to let her ex take their daughters for a daytime visit, a visit from which they did not return. Here's Whitney memorializing Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia.
At night, during their bedtime routine, I would ask them what 3 feelings they felt during that
Mr.
day.
E, we're not seeing the video. It's not up.
Oh, I don't know why.
I see it. I can add it. Let's see if I can add it. I can't add it. I see it down there, but it's not added to the stage. There we go. There it is.
Yeah, it's been StreamYard's been a little weird, actually.
It is. It is.
It keeps taking stuff down when I put it up. I don't know why.
Too small, and what was going on when they felt those feelings. For Peyton, she always had more than 3, consistently eager to tell me about every minute of her day. She was always interrupting her sisters to make sure I knew every single one. For Bev, we would talk about her feelings one-on-one, right at bedtime, because she wasn't always ready to share them with her sisters. And for Olivia, we were still working on how to describe all of her feelings, but beyond a shadow of a doubt, one was always happy. Even when I tried to avoid telling my feelings, which is so easy to do as an adult, I feel like, the girls, one of them would always say, "Wait, Mom, you didn't tell me what yours were," and make sure that I too would tell them what my 3 feelings were. I'm so thankful for the time that I had with the girls, and how the 3 feelings allowed us to connect when the world slowed down.
I am joined.
So that is just you know. So that's the mother. I don't know how she did that. You know.
Did you all not? It's saying no video. I could see the video on my end. I don't know if it wasn't. Hang on, let me back it up and see if it ever came on.
I think that might just be a delay in there, but I think I had the video up eventually.
Hang on, I'm not sure it was. Hang on.
So Jules says she looked him up, and he was an infantryman 11B, but he also had a parachutist badge. He also won the expert infantryman badge, which is hard to earn. Okay, interesting. So does that mean he was? Does that mean he was in the Army? I guess. Was that his branch?
Hang on, I'm gonna see if the video comes up. I'm not showing it. I'm watching on the replay. I'm watching the replay right now to see if you guys saw the video. If it came up and you could hear it, could somebody just say yes? They finally saw it.
Okay, so Jules is saying
yes.
Having that expert infantryman badge means he is extremely proficient in land navigation skills. More than likely went to SERE school, and Jude's saying that he was in the Army.
Okay, somebody said yes, and then 2 other people said no. It never came up.
Huh.
I could see it on StreamYard.
Well, I mean that's so.
Well, if you could hear it, it was just her sharing at a podium. What she said, could you hear it at all? Okay.
Well, and this says Jules says yes, he was assigned to a Ranger regiment originally, but it doesn't look like he completed the school. Okay, so it looks like most people are saying there was no video at all, but
yeah, I don't think it ever came up, and I'm watching. That is so strange.
I had it up. We looked at it, and then I hit play, and it was gone.
I could see it on StreamYard and hear it on StreamYard after I'd said it's not up. Then when you had it up, it came up.
I'm going to pull up YouTube on my phone so that if that happens again, I'll at least catch it in real time and can try to fix it.
Yeah, I had it up, but I had it off screen. I was looking up something else. I was actually looking up his military service. But Jules took care of that for us, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jules. You've been invaluable today. That's great information that would take me like an hour to figure out all of that, probably.
Okay.
But so
Granny said the video did not ever come up. She just came and gave me an update.
Okay. Well,
hear it.
The thing with this kind of training that it is, I mean, that someone with that kind of expertise could disappear out there and could survive a long time.
Well, and they're thinking he could have gone up into Canada or somewhere. I mean, if he has technical skills, he could still be out there. I mean, he can scavenge, that kind of thing. But a lot of people think he hasn't unalived himself, but
yeah. And I'm a real Ginger 22 says, I think he's unalived himself. If I had to guess, I would say that's what happened too. But the scary thing about this guy is you just don't know where he's. Are there, if he thought whatever deranged thing made him believe that he needed to take the life of his own daughters, are there other people in his life that he thinks also are needing to be eliminated? And if he's out there for, and when you look at him too, he's the kind of guy that could look like anybody. He shaves his head, shaves a beard, dyes his hair. He's just kind of plain looking.
Mm-hmm.
He's the kind of guy with a different haircut or a cap. You wouldn't even look at him twice, really. He's just sort of nondescript.
Well, I think though some things about him make it kind of are unique. In the fact that I don't know, he's just got a weird kind of smile. And I thought that was one of the things that was odd about him. But
Yeah.
but he could easily shave the beard and the facial hair and look very plain.
Yeah, I mean, you can change your look pretty drastically,
Right.
I mean, just imagine shaving that beard and doing a buzz cut or something, and he'd look totally different. So anyway, but what if he's looking at the mother or other people in his life? You just don't know what that guy's thinking. So he really needs, even if he's gone, you'd wonder, is he going to pop up back in your life at some point? And I don't know how that mom did that vigil like that.
And she did a good job.
Yeah,
They did have a GoFundMe for her, and I know that no amount of money is going to bring her children back, but they have raised $1.2 million to help her pay for the funeral expenses and to get her life going again, and get away from the whole situation. It's horrible, but at least she doesn't have to worry about her finances while she's dealing with all this horrible stuff. So I think that's a great thing. That people get to pull together for people like this.
Did she have children outside of that marriage?
I don't think
her
so.
only three daughters.
I don't
mean,
think
just
so.
yeah. I just wonder what kind of support she's got outside of the 3 kids.
Jules says, so after he left active duty, he joined the Washington National Guard, and he stopped attending his monthly battle assemblies about a year ago and was subject to disciplinary action. Interesting.
Yeah, so he's kind of
and
falling
Aunt
apart.
E, I want to show you.
Oh, let me see. She got her new harness on. Do good,
Yeah,
baby.
I can't hold
Granny
her up.
also said that the grandfather gave a really nice speech as well at the memorial.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She looks great.
I can't show it. She's being
Those harnesses are the
pushing.
best.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The gooby harnesses, they're the best.
She seems more comfortable for sure.
And he won't be facing the death penalty, not in that state.
That's sad. He should. He's one that needs firing squad.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yes.
Well, it is Washington State. That's a very liberal
Yeah.
state. They don't have traditional conservative values there. So,
Perfectly imperfect boy mom says, I could not have been able to stand there and talk if I lost my 4 boys. She's so strong and brave.
yeah, yes. I mean, you could tell she was choked up, but at the same time, she was really, telling about their personalities and everything. And I thought, that does take huge strength. I could never do that.
This keeps happening. Everything I put up on the screen keeps getting booted and then coming back. Because I didn't
It's
remove
probably
this.
just where you're at.
The picture of the guy in the plane is
Yeah.
showing on YouTube right now.
Okay, but I had it up and then it went away and now it's back. Like,
Yeah,
it's really strange.
Mrs. E, did you know that the video that he put up, we could see it on StreamYard and it was playing, but they could only hear it on YouTube. They could not see it.
That's weird. I think
I know.
something weird's going on with YouTube today.
I don't know if it's that or StreamYard. I think it's YouTube though.
Real Me Too says Whitney needs closure and should not have to look over her shoulder for the rest of her life. No one should have to do that.
Right.
I just want, before I do this, because this is going to have video too.
And Jules says it sounds like he was potentially suffering a severe mental health crisis, and his commanders 1000% failed him in this case. If any of my soldiers stopped showing up, I would immediately find out why.
See, it went away again.
Well, what is it you're wanting to show?
I'm trying to show
the vigil.
No, I'm trying to move to the next story, but it won't show it.
Okay. Do you want me?
It keeps removing.
Okay. Can you send me the link?
Is it the layout that you've chosen that's causing it?
I don't know, but that's happened a few times now.
Can you send me the link? No.
How?
Can you go over to his computer and try it?
I'll try. Hold on.
I could just maybe it's something I'm doing.
Okay. Let's see.
So I'll hit. So this is what I've been sharing, and every time I bring it up, it disappears on me.
Oh, I see what it is.
What is
It's it's the corner of it says full screen layout in the corner of it on StreamYard. So I'm wondering if it's the way you've got it represented on StreamYard, that when it pulls up, it comes down.
Okay, hold on.
Okay,
Here it
wait a
is if
minute.
you take us off. Is
Hang
that
on.
okay?
Yeah, if it stays, I guess.
Oh, that won't work. Sorry.
No, that's how we're going to do it.
There, that's what I was trying to do.
We could do that or that.
I mean, it doesn't matter, but if unless it goes away again.
Okay, so what do you? And so now
I think it's when we're highlighting comments.
Okay, I'll stop highlighting comments.
I think that's when it kicks it out. For
okay.
some
So
reason.
where is it? Do you just want to read about it? Or
Yeah, I
you
was just going to
plan
read
some-
about. I wanted
Oh,
to show him and then talk about the story. Do you all? So, are you all familiar with this story of the pastor back on April 28th of this year? He was 76 years old. That was murdered and crucified. Do you know this story?
I mean, like literally just heard a blurb about it, but never looked into it because there's so many cases. But I did hear about it, but I don't know any details. I just heard a blurb about it on a newscast.
So his name he was Pastor Bill Schoenman. He was 76 years old, and he was the pastor at New River Bible Chapel in New River, Arizona. And when he was found after a wellness check, after people hadn't heard from him for a while, and this is his picture here, he was found. He was essentially crucified in his bed with like a crown of thorns.
Oh my stars!
And the man that's been arrested is 51-year-old Adam Schiff, and he did a sit-down interview with a true crime channel in Arizona.
Oh,
talking about
my goodness
what he did, and it is unbelievable.
What is this going to be really bad?
He's just very open about his plans. I mean, he doesn't go into grotesque details.
But wasn't he supposed to be going? Wasn't he supposed to be like having planned several of these? It wasn't just this guy,
right?
Okay.
And so that he talks about this very openly with this reporter in Arizona, and I just thought,
should we be doing a trigger warning? I guess is my question.
I mean, it's what it is. It's
how long ago was this? How long ago was the incident?
April 28th.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
how have we not heard about this?
I thought I'd heard about it a long time ago, and I just never heard anything else.
Yeah, so he's going to talk about how he got arrested and why he was doing what he was doing.
I'm not going to put let me see if this kicks you out again. Did that kick you out?
Yep.
It did.
Kicked all of us. There it is. When you took it down, it brought it back.
Okay, there's something weird going on with StreamYard and YouTube. So
now we don't see Mr. E at all.
Are you kidding?
It's just you and I.
Yeah, not on YouTube. It's on StreamYard. I'm on StreamYard, but I'm not on YouTube.
Oh my stars.
Yeah, YouTube's really where this.
No, you're not on StreamYard either. I'm on StreamYard. You're not there. You're blank.
No, I'm looking at it right here.
Okay, what if I move him?
Now it's you and him and not me.
It's right. On YouTube, I'm only seeing the two of us. That is so weird.
Okay, so let me fool with it for a minute. Hold on.
Just pull this all off and I'll hit play.
There we are.
No. Okay.
Yeah, we're there. Weird.
Right. Well, let's I'm gonna watch it on YouTube on my phone and make
lost
sure.
Him. Hold on. I messed up.
Go back to the other one.
Okay.
But I mean, obviously,
I don't like being on top.
An incredibly disturbing crime. But to have him, sitting, waiting trial and all of this, and sitting here talking to the reporter about it.
And we didn't even talk about Jules' comment. She said this interviewer also interviewed Lori Daybell.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
That's what she said. That's what she was putting up when it threw us off again.
You feel like this reporter almost can't believe she's getting this interview at all. Like it's just the way he's so open about it, but he is. So I'm gonna play that here. Okay, we ready?
So when did this plan come to fruition? You're thinking about this. You want to carry out this A hit list?
Yes.
A hit list.
Sure.
14 pastors.
That's right. Around the nation. To surround the nation.
Starting in Arizona?
Starting in Arizona, where I was born. Where it starts is where it ends, like the Garden of Eden. I start in Phoenix, where I was born, on this life, and I'm going to end in Phoenix, where I was baptized, which I don't appreciate, when I was 3 years old by my parents. You know, I'm baptized in a belief that is completely false.
So you get to Phoenix.
I get to Phoenix. I just set up a tent under a tree on Olive Street, and I followed that priest home Sunday after Easter service. And when he pulled into his driveway, the two women came out of the garage. I'm not interested in executing anyone other than the pastors or the shepherds leading the flock astray. I need to find pastors or priests that live alone.
If you had gotten away with Bill's murder, where were you going to go next?
That's where I got caught, was in Sedona. I had both of the leather tags made out, both of the thorn crowns.
Yeah, where'd you get a thorn crown?
In the desert, you know, the trees with the thorns on them. I cut it and make a crown of thorns. I just, in a circle, you know. So I had both of those priests as my target. I was en route of getting into the back of the car of the second priest, and an old lady got in front of me. I had lost my vehicle because I got in a high-speed chase with the police in the stolen truck in Sedona. I escaped. I ran up a mountain. I got away from all the cops. I hiked all the way back to my tent, and I was still, you know, on target for those two priests. But I wanted my target so bad that I refused to leave, so I hiked all the way back. Had I had a vehicle, those two were done. They didn't have a chance in hell. From there was Las Vegas, Nevada, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, Billings, Montana, Detroit, Michigan, New York, New York, Charlotte, North Carolina, Mobile, Alabama, Beaumont, Texas, and El Paso, Texas. So 4 of them are going to get hit in Arizona.
So you have zero remorse for this killing.
Not only do I have zero remorse, I plan on fulfilling what I started.
Oh my
father puts me in an authoritative position on this earth. I will execute every single priest and burn every church to the ground.
I mean, it's likely you'll be in prison for the rest of your life.
That's what you think.
Oh,
And coming up
Right.
at 6, we dive.
Right.
he's terrifying.
I mean, that is incredible. And he, my understanding is he doesn't have an attorney yet. He just did this interview.
Oh,
Oh,
that's interesting, Canine.
okay.
Uh,
You're not playing
cool.
anymore, are you? Can we put up the comment? Because this is a good comment.
Yeah, we can pull this down actually. So wait a second. Ironically, the same areas that these sleeper cells were reported at.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, because I mean that is so incredible.
Oh, that's funny too. She said maybe Daybell will defend him.
Well, somebody.
So I hadn't seen the report about the sleeper cells.
I was in somebody's chat and they were talking about someone in that state, and they said maybe they'll get Lori Daybell's attorney. And I was like, well,
Oh, this guy?
That would be Lori.
no, not about this guy, but somebody else.
Some people are asking what are sleeper cells.
Or Jules is saying maybe Lori will defend him.
Yeah, yeah.
So she's got her
Yeah.
experiences. I got you. I get the joke went over my head. for a
Okay, that
second.
stressed me out because I'm getting my eye twitch again.
I mean that
Now we only got 2 of us.
so that to me was
Are you
like
kidding?
No, you're gone.
How about now?
Yep, we're back.
That's
so first thing I
bizarre.
thought watching that was paging Dr. Gary Bricado, please. Let's have him come in and analyze this
Oh,
guy.
let's have Dr. Gary interview this guy.
Yeah, I mean he could
Wow.
watch. I think there's a longer interview that's like 25 minutes long. It's just audio
hmm
that could be played, but it would be real. I would be really interested to hear what
Sorry.
Dr.
what
Gary.
Dr. Gary thought, because if he does this study of like what's the name of his book?
I'll look it up because
It's
it's
something like-
it's a good read.
Evil. I can't. The name's escaping me, but he studies the most evil of all evil people.
This is like Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Someone did ask what a sleeper cell is, if you want to explain.
Yeah, so sleeper cells would be any kind of like kind of a
The new evil.
pre-planned the new evil. Yeah, that's it for Gary Bricado.
And we we're not like affiliates, but I am gonna put this up here in case anybody wants to buy it.
So a sleeper cell, you might have, Could be any kind of connection to any kind of terrorist organization, extreme religious group, or anything.
And
Anywhere in the country.
Yeah, the term sleeper means they're dormant.
Right. So they could be activated at any time. So they might be
that
living.
was a really long. Okay, hold on.
You could be living in a place for 10 years. And then when you get the word, it's time for you to go commit whatever act of terror or assassination or whatever at any point. So they might be living in your community for years.
It can be espionage, sabotage, like you said, terrorism, political disruption, political activism. We've been seeing that a lot with people are concerned about sleeper cells of terrorists in our country. After the Iraq bombing, they think that there could be sleeper cells in the United States that could be activated, things like that. ISIS, Al Qaeda, they have sleeper cells, and that's what that means.
Yeah, and that's what I heard. Tom Homan, the DHS secretary, is that what it is? He DHS? DHS, right?
Yeah, director of Homeland Security. Yes,
in charge of the illegal, in charge of ICE and all of that. It's been on the deportation.
Right.
And he was saying that they are extremely upset about or concerned about. There's quite a few illegals that they believe have come in that are sleepers. That they're.
Well, it is odd that he would hit all the same cities. That's weird.
Well, I hadn't seen that list. Did you see the list of sleeper?
They were all I mean, there's a big list of where they have targeted, where they think they're targeted. Actually, more cities than what he listed, but all the ones he listed were some that had supposed sleeper cells, which it's pretty ironic.
No, was that a coincidence?
No, they're not. Yeah. There are no coincidences.
Right. I mean, and this guy's toast as far as a trial goes. I mean, he's done.
But he could plead insanity.
I don't know.
I mean,
does he seem?
Well, his belief system is insane.
He just seems more.
He
evil.
seems possessed, is what he seems
to me.
Yes.
To me, than insane.
He seems possessed, but is possession mental instability? I think it is.
It's 9/10 of the law.
I mean,
yeah, that's possession.
It's like. Is it? There are people that are just evil, though, and then there's people that see. I think
that's why I put Dr. Gary's book up.
Yeah, I'd be interested. That's why I want to hear what Dr. Gary has to say about this guy. Actually,
well, it's interesting because he says he had no interest in hurting anyone else. He was targeted. He knew who he wanted and why he wanted them. So, I mean, like you said, the two ladies that were there, he was not interested in harming anyone but these people that were leaders of churches that were leading people astray. I mean, he was very targeted. That also can kind of show mental instability because you have, this unrealistic perception of these people and you want to eliminate them. That's mental illness.
Right.
But I think he knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah.
I think that's to me the line, like with the mental illness. Yeah, of course he's not right. He's just embraced the evil. And I think this is my armchair psychologist going here. Okay. I think this is the kind of person that has a thirst for the violence and has grabbed a belief system to justify the actions that he secretly wanted, and that that kind of person that fantasizes about violence on others, and
I would like to hear
a belief system to fit that.
Was the interview longer, like the whole interview?
There's like a 25-minute
released.
There's a 25-minute audio I saw that I didn't listen to all of that. I just saw
maybe we should reach out to Dr. Gary and see if he'll come on and talk about it.
I would love to hear what he had to say about it. Just play the interview and hear his reaction to what's going on. And
I'm not sure exactly how to do that,
but he might. We could try.
And just his response to the reporter when she said, "Well, you'll most likely be in jail for the rest of your life." And what did he say? "So you say," or
that's what you think, or something.
That's what you think, or something like that. Meaning, like, no, he wasn't going to be.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I think what he was trying to say is, if God has other plans for him, then he'll be out.
Well, I don't think he believed in God.
He doesn't believe in God, though,
because he was mad because his parents baptized him.
No,
Yes,
he didn't believe in Jesus. I think was his thing.
Okay.
But he did believe in some kind of power. Yeah, I just other things I read about him. I believe that was the case. But he has some form of belief system.
All I need is
But this guy seems right up Dr. Gary's alley.
oh, right.
Because this is the kind of person that Gary studies, are these people that are just innately evil, and that's just the kind of people he studies.
Right.
So I would love to. It would be interesting to hear Gary break down the interview and kind of see what he thinks on this person.
Oh, I don't. Is Dr. Gary on X?
I don't know.
You can get him through Josh on the
Yeah, we
lab.
could reach out to Josh.
Yeah,
A couple people have suggested that as well. Hey, Jude and Jules.
But
I didn't even think about that.
I thought that was really interesting because it's just so rare to have someone speak so openly about the way they think. I mean, he's facing trial. He's looking at the rest of his life in prison, and then just goes and talks to a reporter and answers candid questions, and just matter of factly describes what he was planning. And
wow,
the 76-year-old pastor. You're just a guy working at your church, just living your life trying to be right by God and all of that, and could not ever imagine your life would end that way. It's just so horrifying. It's just a total tragedy. Thank goodness they caught this guy before he got on his spree. His plan.
So he basically only had one, and they caught him when he was trying to do the two
second.
priests.
Yeah.
Well, he definitely was against the Catholic faith, I'm assuming, because the next two targets were priests.
Yeah.
Canine Jules says, I would love to see you guys host someone like Lieutenant Ray Hermosillo. He's amazing. I don't know him.
I don't know him. Yeah, I don't know.
I've seen his name recently. Was he one of the witnesses in PA that they were wanting to get for the? No, that's not him. Okay.
We are going to start having guests though on our deep dive shows.
Yeah, and Joel says those surviving pastors would probably watch that interview and be terrified. I bet any pastor in any of those cities he names are kind of thinking, "Was I on that list?"
Right.
I mean, I'd be wondering. And then you would wonder. Okay, so I didn't the sleeper cell thing. I did not know or had even considered. But if he was a sleeper cell of some kind, that was kind of.
Oh, okay. He is the Rexburg detective in Lori's trial. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Ray Hermosillo.
We haven't really followed that one.
I knew I'd seen his name somewhere.
I've seen some of her, like I watched, was that the documentary I watched? No, that's not the documentary I watched. I watched that other lady that was awful.
And let's keep it real. We are having all kinds of issues today with YouTube and StreamYard, so we apologize. She said YouTube keeps kicking her out.
I'm so sorry.
It's kicked me out on my phone. I've had to go back in twice.
Yeah, I wonder if YouTube's been hacked or had something happen.
Well, we've been told that that's going to be happening.
Yeah.
Right.
So
right.
I think we're lucky this thing's just up at all. Right. I mean, it changed everybody's names and everything keeps getting booted.
I'm so sorry, guys. We are on mine.
Oh, he also was the one that found the kids.
I've got it.
We're live on yours right now.
Yeah, I keep it up just to make sure there's a.
Oh yeah, we're live. It was just kicking me out like the whole broadcast. I had to go back into the broadcast. I think that's what it was doing with her.
Well, anything you want to talk about on that? I know you didn't know about that case before I brought it up. I kind of wanted to see what your reaction was to this guy.
I remember hearing about it vaguely, but it was a long time ago, and I did not know that that's who was responsible for the unaliving. I had no idea that that's who it was. I just had heard about what happened.
Oh, we've already said crazy stuff. I don't think that we're going to have much monetization on this one.
Yeah. But I just try to get in habit, because if I'm not in habit, I'll do it too frequently. Oh, here's one that Jules said she would like to hear us talk about.
So whenever you get the chance, I would love to hear your opinion on Ann Gibbs. She ran Canine Hero Haven, was charged with 41 counts of neglect, 4 retired canines. She got a plea for 1 count.
I have not heard of that.
I do not know that story.
No.
And what would the penalty have been for 1 count of Ann Gibbs?
And we'll have to put that one, write that one down.
I'm just going to look it up real quick. Okay, so from January 2024, does that sound about right? Owner of an animal rescue center. Oh, I see. Yeah, so she ran a terrible center for dogs, dirty bowls, dogs not in kennels, covered in feces, that kind of thing. So she pled guilty to 1 count. I'm sure she lost her license, but basically is prohibited from operating a kennel for 10 years.
That's all? She should never be able to operate a kennel.
Right? Shouldn't it be a lifetime ban from operating a kennel?
Absolutely.
It's time to find a different line of work, right? She has a hearing coming up in the fall.
She did plead guilty to the 1 single count she was charged with.
Oh, okay. So one of the dogs you have is from her kennel.
Oh,
wow. And yeah, it said that they've removed 12 dogs and that required immediate medical attention, and later found additional neglected animals, bringing the total to 28. 8 didn't survive due to illness or extreme aggression, and those had to be put down humanely.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. It was 41 charges initially, but she then pled to 1.
Okay, so this is part of the judgment too. Jules says she only lost it for 10 years. She can't have 26 canines in a kennel calendar year, but she can have 25 per Pennsylvania state law.
oh my
Lord.
Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's right, Leslie.
Right. Of any kind, pets or
Yeah,
anything.
personally. Yeah.
What a cute picture, by the way. I love
know,
that
that's
Rosie
cute.
the Riveter. That's adorable.
So
there's another good one.
we should wrap this up.
There's another suggestion that you can write down too. The founder of Save a Fox.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
I know that
just
story.
a terrible story.
Yeah,
It's
I thought
just
about
a terrible.
The social media bullying cases like that are they're tragic. They're
There's
horrible.
actually a few. There's also the Liver King guy that got arrested in Texas. Do you know the Liver King thing?
No.
He got arrested for making a terroristic threat or some charge very similar to that.
Okay,
I can't remember exactly.
Okay, can we start with why is he called the Liver King?
Because he eats raw liver and claims that is how he got so jacked. And he's got like millions of followers on various social media.
Oh, I've
he's
never heard of the Liver King.
He's like this real pumped up looking dude, right? Well, he got into an ongoing. Basically, Joe Rogan called him out and said, "You don't get this jacked by
eating this jacked by steroids, right?"
And then, and he denied it, and then it turned out he was on steroids. And Liver King's a nut. Okay, I saw enough videos to realize he's a wild guy. But I guess he made some kind of I know. So I guess he made some kind of terroristic threat to Joe Rogan and got arrested for it, right?
Okay.
So when I was first reading, I was like, I didn't know the Joe Rogan part. I was reading about the Liver King part.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, wow, look at this social media guy actually getting arrested for making a terroristic threat against another social media person, which the first article I read didn't say Joe Rogan. And I was like, so I wonder how this all unfolded. I did a little more. I was like, oh, because it's Joe Rogan.
Right.
Random YouTuber has a death threat or a terroristic threat made against you. Nothing happens. If you want justice, you got to be Joe Rogan, was my takeaway from it. So I had actually thought about making that one of the stories we covered was the Liver King thing.
Yeah.
Just for the purpose.
I don't know a lot about the Fox lady. I just know that she was bullied extensively.
Yeah, that was according to her husband, that was played a role. And that's just, you just never know what's going on with people. You watch her videos and she just seemed like a sweet lady just wanting to rescue foxes. And you never really know what kind of darkness and dark thoughts are going on with people behind the scenes, but terribly sad. But if bullying played a role, we don't, you don't really know, but it might have.
I don't know. It might just be the I don't know, the genre that we're in, but I just feel like that bullying is just out of control in general.
Yeah.
It used to be like people would get shunned for being bullies.
Well, yeah. So Perfectly Imperfect Boy Mom says Lady Freedom got a bit of justice yesterday. So
right.
Yeah. So I kind of thought all these stories are kind of, we almost could have done a social media true crime stream, because there's a lot of things like this going on that are all, so she got a protective order because another YouTuber came to her neighborhood or something and put up a bunch of flyers making
I think it was like
accusations.
apartment complex or
it was a lifetime. Wasn't it a lifetime order of protection against her? Like there's no end.
Yeah, a lifetime, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
I don't hear of that.
I peeked in there last night, and I think it was one of them went through, one of them did not, because there was two involved, a husband and wife.
Yeah, so I mean that's good. You don't need people coming into your apartment complex and doing crazy stuff like that. So
well, one of the things that she said though, she said that the judge really did take time to explain it. And he said, if you guys have been giving each other a hard time without defaming each other online, we wouldn't be able to do this. It's the fact that they took the initiative to go to her neighborhood.
Right.
And
sure.
Yeah. So,
well, Hey Jude said both went through.
Oh, I thought she said that one did not. I'm sorry. I'm I was listening to it pretty late and I was distracted. So
I'm glad to see that happen because you think of the Sin City Manny and these things. If we can stop these things from escalating, especially once people get past just the kind of like social commentary and they start getting in their car and driving to where you live, judges do need to put the brakes on stuff like that. Mm-hmm. That doesn't need to happen. Free speech doesn't mean you start approaching people's homes and where they live and things like that. You don't want things to escalate the way they did with Finney the Legend and Sin City Manny.
Is there anything new on that?
Yeah, I was going to ask the same thing.
I think we're still waiting on a trial or
the
next court date.
Not
I think it's
guilty.
later in July. Yeah.
And Bill said in PA, it's a stand your ground state, also known if you don't want, if I don't want you on my property, don't come on my property. So that may be also part of the ruling was because of that.
Oh, no, she's in Florida, I thought.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I thought she was in Florida. I might be wrong though.
Who? Oh, Lady Freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I believe in Jesus and true crime, coffee and true crime. Hers name has changed and it says they won't let me put Jesus in my YouTube handle anymore.
What is going on?
I'm telling you what, there's some crazy stuff. They've either done some major updates or something is going on that they've been hacked or, cyber attacked. Something is going on.
Yeah. Let's make her not have Jesus in her name, but we'll let a million people, attack, people, one person. So,
wow.
That's crazy.
I hope that's just a glitch or part of the hack. I mean, something weird's going on at YouTube today.
Yes.
No doubt.
I mean, yes, we've got
all kinds of issues.
It could be StreamYard too. StreamYard's a little wonky. If I could figure out how to use some of the other systems and teach you how to use them, we would be using other things. Because
I know other creators have left StreamYard because they've just been pulling their hair out. But the thing it was showing on StreamYard. I was watching it, but it was not. Granny said, no, you can't see it. And I rewound it on my phone on YouTube and it was not there. And we were talking and looking at it and it wasn't there. So it was on StreamYard. So I don't know which one was messed up.
All right. So unless y'all have anything else, I'm going to do our final thing before we go.
Well, we could do our last 20 minutes or 15 minutes of what?
I don't know what.
Oh, I thought you were going to do your funny.
That's what I'm about to do before we go.
Well, we could just chit chat for a few minutes after that, and then
I think we have time.
Yeah. I don't want to say how long it takes us, but we've got plenty of time.
Okay.
So
we got to do lunch for our buddy, and all
I
that
understand
stuff
that
too.
too.
So just want to make sure we're good.
Yeah.
Even
with that, we'll be good.
Okay. So I just thought last week, War Damn Eagle had posted a very amusing video of a lady getting tased. So that maybe because we do talk about a lot of things that are sort of dark, maybe in on a little laugh each week with this.
I think that's a great idea.
So I think we all like seeing people get justice, and the taser gun is my daughter's favorite thing on Hidden Files.
Yeah.
So I found a pretty good one here, I think. So.
And thank you, Jules, for helping today.
Yeah, thank you, Jules.
See you later.
Yes, thank you, Jules. You've been great. And oh, by the way, Panda Bear's mom wanted our email
I
address.
sent
Did
it.
you put that in?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, got this off of X, and this guy's attitude changed pretty quickly.
What is that? Okay, hold on real quick. My angel in heaven says most creators are not happy with some of the changes. I thought she said cheat. Oh, most cheaters.
I think she means most creators.
Well, I was like, cheaters? What's it? What's it have to do with cheaters? Okay, never mind.
Oh, and then someone else said they're just getting a black screen and the live just stops and they're having to go back in and out, in and out.
I'm sorry, Doris. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I got the black screen too. That's what happened to me earlier.
And she said, dang, YouTube posted my government name.
Doxed by YouTube. There's your lawsuit.
I actually wondered about that, is if creators could get together that are harassed and do a class action suit against YouTube, because they are.
This may not be the place to talk about it.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, they're supposed to do their TOS, and they don't. They're
Right.
supposed to enforce it.
All right, so this isn't shared to the screen. Why won't this share?
Cheater is a great show. Okay, let me try.
All right.
Hold on. How about this?
This is so weird.
Oh,
now share.
All right.
Now
I'm
we're
gone.
on this.
Okay, I'm going to try to add this. Just don't do anything and see if this is there. Is it there?
Okay, it's there.
No,
it's not on my screen.
it's not on my screen.
It's on StreamYard.
But it's not on the
It's
screen.
not on
Hang
reality.
on.
Now there's nothing there.
Yeah, now it's nothing, but I can see it. This is what happened earlier. It was on StreamYard. Nope, it's still not there.
Okay, I'm trying.
Now it is. Now it's there.
It's there. Okay, we're not going to do anything. We're not
We
going to
just won't
touch
put
it.
our pictures up. Don't add our
Yeah,
pictures.
leave our pictures off. I'm going to enlarge it. Did that work okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And you, all right. So
Yes, Roxanne, I love the show Cheaters too.
yeah, that was a good one.
That was
What I was going to say about the cheaters thing, when we were watching Texas Roadhouse, going through the video, I always wonder, what if somebody's there having like an affair? You know,
You get them on
that kind
video.
of thing, and they're like blasted out by Dog the Bounty Hunter to millions of people. I mean, things like that probably do happen, right?
I would say so.
But anyway, so here's this guy in a parking lot of a grocery store. I don't know what led up to this, but he decided he was going to take on the cop.
Okay.
Hey, you're a bitch, homie. What's up? What's up? Hey, get on the ground now. You're on the ground, man. Roll over. Roll over, or you will be taken down. Okay, I'm rolling over. I'm on your stomach now. I'm assisting.
I'm assisting.
I'm assisting. You're gonna shoot me after you fucking.
So one, oh man.
Yeah, you're a bitch, homie. What's up? What's up? Hey, get on the ground now. You're on the ground, man. Roll over. Roll over, or you will be taken down. Okay, I'm rolling over. I'm on your stomach now. I'm assisting.
Oh. All right.
You know,
So I
okay,
think-
stop
are
it
we
for
back?
a second. Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna
try
put
to
our
stop it.
Okay.
All right. Are we?
No.
No.
All right. Are we back?
How's that?
There. Okay.
Mainstream- all right.
I know he's saying I'm assisting, but it sounds to me like he's saying I'm a sissy.
That's
I'm assisting.
that's what I thought he was saying too.
But
The first time
he's
I
saying
listened to
I'm
it.
assisting.
Yeah, I'm a sissy. I'm a sissy. That's what I thought at first, but
Nicole says, who brings a taser to a fist fight?
I know.
The cops always have tasers.
I thought it was great, especially since he decided he was going to go punching a cop. And sometimes we got to wait on justice, but sometimes it's immediate and swift. too.
Well, I
So
think that's why our
I do
kids,
appreciate that.
I can tell you after watching all those shoplifter arrests, I could guarantee that nobody in our house would be remotely interested in doing that after seeing the humiliation.
Some of the funniest
Right.
ones I've ever seen are state troopers that are going through the training and they have to tase each other. Oh my gosh, it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Make sure you've gone to the bathroom. They would say that make sure you've gone to the bathroom before you get tased, because most of the time they will have an accident.
Right.
And Panda Bear's mom says, "Can we put some blue hearts in chat for Devlin?" Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it looks like that's going to be our next deep dive. Tonight, though, I'm going to be enjoying our kids being home, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear how camp went.
I have a feeling I know how it's going to go. One's going to say it was great. One's going to say it was, I don't think I'd be interested in going back.
Well, age has a lot to do with that.
True.
Cece said, I was tased at work by accident once. Well, one barb, and that was enough.
Really? Wow.
Well, see, I guess I didn't realize until we started watching those videos all the time where people get tased that the barbs go into their skin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I thought was happening, but the first time I saw it, I was very surprised. I did not realize that was the case.
Yeah.
Well, it's like when he launched it and it went in his arm, he was trying to pull it off, and then I don't know if he pushed it again, but that's when he fell straight back, and I was like, oh my.
Well, our daughter loves tasing. Like that's her favorite part.
She does.
So watch it.
Yes. No. She loves to watch people get tased because their body goes stiff like that and falls over.
Yeah, I bet those are. I mean, it looks horrible. It changes people's attitudes very quickly, usually.
Cece says they hurt coming out.
I bet they do.
Bet they do.
And perfectly imperfect boy, mom. Yeah. Oh, yay. Mine comes home from church camp tomorrow.
Good.
Yeah, I thought this would be a very fast week, and it has been extremely slow.
It feels like forever.
I thought this week's been slow too. Just every day thinking, okay, they get to come on Friday, and I'm not even there.
I know.
Robidu says, here we are back to the hurting our siblings. Discussion from the members only the other day. Romy 2 says, I sprayed my brother with pepper spray when he said it wouldn't do anything to you. He changed his mind quickly.
Oh, that's
funny. He did.
Yeah.
And all I need is coffee and Jesus and true crime. Even though it's Nicole says she's going to dye her hair blue in awareness of Devlin.
Oh, well, it's already blue.
Where's
parts of it? She's going to do it all blue.
I really like the color it is right now.
Yeah, I do that teal.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh, and yes, they changed. They wouldn't let her put Jesus in her name. And it took her out.
Okay, I didn't know what the new name was. I got you.
It's Nicole.
Yeah, she did her first.
Weird.
She got up on panel for the first time.
Yeah. So all I need is Jesus. True Crime and Coffee came up. And she was great. We talked a lot of Micah Miller with her. Panda Bear's mom came up and learned a lot about Devlin Tate from her. Real Me Too.
Sasha Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa
B always came up a little bit at the beginning.
I forgot Lisa B always did
talked
too,
a little bit about Sumner County, and
that was a fun members only.
So that was fun to do. We're going to try to keep doing those.
We're going to try to do those once a month and do a trivia once a month.
Yeah,
and that's about all I can commit to right now.
And the panelists are great, and it's it's so one sided. I mean, we do talk to Chad a lot and try to get your ideas that way, but it's good to have people be able to come up and kind of voice their thoughts and ideas about different whatever topics, really. But
just a disclaimer: we are one family crisis away from not being on sometimes. So just so you know, if something comes up, our kids and our family comes first. So if something,
they know that. They know that. I was wondering why I look so bad. It's because we have the overhead lights on.
Yeah, if that specific word is a problem, that is really incredible.
I hope that it's just this part of this glitch problem. But if it is, that's a horrible thing. That's definitely worthy of a complaint.
It's just, that would really be.
Because people have that name. Jesus is a name.
That's true.
I mean, geez Louise.
Nina Drew, it's so nice to see you. And she sent me a sticker.
Well,
she knows I love my stickers. Let me see it. It's a piece of pie. Thank you so much, Nina.
I wish I had a piece of pie. There is no good pie where I live. You cannot find it. Nobody makes the pie.
We were going to start doing this and we haven't done it. Okay, so in chat, type in your favorite pie.
Pie?
Yeah.
Aw. We'll save ours for last. We'll see what some of the people's favorite pie is. What's your favorite pie?
Aunt E is a big fan of pies.
I love pie. But only certain types of pie.
And thank you, Panda Bear's mom, for being a member for 3 months.
Thank you.
And you've got Devlin as your avatar there. So
that's
good,
nice.
Good. It's great to see.
Oh, we've got apple, pecan, pumpkin, coconut cream, key lime.
Real Me Too's it says I don't do pies, but I love cheesecake.
Coconut custards is one of my favorites. It's not the favorite, but it's up there in the top 5.
Dutch apple, peanut butter.
Apple's pretty good. Fudge is where I'd go first. Fudge. Fudge.
I bet no one gets one of mine.
Apple,
in the top 3.
Pecan,
nobody will guess.
Pumpkin, coconut cream, key lime. Let's see, pecan.
Yeah, key lime's not one you'd think about usually.
Pecan
It's big where I live. They have it everywhere, and I don't like it.
You won't guess Mr. E's. I know you.
I said, I think.
You just said it?
I think.
Oh, did you
say
say
apple?
He did not say apple.
I said 3 would be fudge and then apple and cherry.
Apple?
Yeah.
I've been married to you a really long time. I've never known you to eat an apple pie.
Nicole, I do like this. It's probably number 5, but that's not it. No one's going to guess one of my favorites.
I don't often order. If I'm getting a pie, I'm getting fudge first choice for sure.
Right.
But then, you know what the cherry one?
Oh, chocolate cream pie.
That's in the top 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, chess pie is pretty good too.
What was it that Mom always used to make? Icebox pie?
Yeah, that's kind of like chocolate cream pie.
Yeah.
It's good.
Anything with meringue is good, just about.
Pecan.
No meat pies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Charlie's. Oh, Charlie's. What was it?
Caramel pie.
Caramel
pie. Oh.
I haven't done the fudge pie.
Chess pie is actually my favorite.
Raisin pie, raspberry pie. Nobody's guessed mine yet.
Oh, they're trying to guess yours. I thought they were doing their favorite.
Well, no, they're doing it, but I mean, no one else has put that one in.
Lemon meringue.
Chicken pot
pie.
Oh, now I do love a good derby. I love a good derby pie, which is a pecan chocolate chip pie. And I see some people putting pecan, but
that used to be mine before chess. And derby pie is my second, probably.
Derby pie is a good one. I love the caramel pie from O'Charlie's.
Raisin pie, raspberry pie,
Kool-Aid pie. Ooh, nope, never heard of.
Second choice is
Nicole's trying to guess, and she said Aunt E Kool-Aid pie. I've never heard of that one.
I don't even think I know this.
I guess I don't know it either.
I make it. Oh, you got it.
Rhubarb?
Buttermilk pie. No, buttermilk pie.
Who got it?
I've never even heard of
it.
You ever heard of buttermilk pie?
I didn't even know that existed. What is buttermilk pie?
Buttermilk pie is made with buttermilk, and I have a homemade buttermilk pie recipe, and I love it. It's probably my favorite.
How come I've never received this pie? I've never heard of it.
I hardly ever make it. But it's one of my very favorite pies. And then I love a good banana cream pie, chocolate, and coconut cream. Those are my.
You're making me really hungry.
I know. I'm a pie person. I mean, I'd rather have pie than anything.
She's saying, I think that's the same as chess pie?
No. It's like a custard pie, and it's made with buttermilk.
I've never heard of it.
I didn't even know it existed.
Oh, it's amazing. They sell it. They sell it at Publix.
Like she'll judge a restaurant based on their pie selection. I'm not even kidding.
Well, I can see the excitement in your eyes.
would get a score of an F because nobody has pie. Nobody.
I'm not even kidding. When we took her to that diner,
that
was the first thing she said. She goes, "Well, that looks like they've got good pies." That was the first thing she said.
I always look there first.
Yeah. So that like she judges what the food's going to be like based on their pie selection. I promise you, it's always been like that.
Well, in the little diner that Mom and I go to a lot, they don't have good pie. And sadly, they don't have good pie.
Is that the one you took me to with the fish sandwich? It's really good. The one that was going out of business because the family was retiring, and then it came back.
No, it's not that one.
Don't we have to get going?
Nicole, it doesn't taste like buttermilk.
We do. We have to leave in about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste like buttermilk at all. It tastes more like a custardy chest pie.
But we did pretty good. We kept this at 2 hours today. We could have gone shorter if we wanted.
I know.
So I think that's the goal. Keep it more like the hour.
Keep it more like that kind of quick.
So I think we did better this time than we did last.
Yes. And we covered a lot of ground. We covered a lot of cases.
And then someday I'm going to tell the story about the girl that used to work for us that kept wanting to make you a pie.
Oh yeah. And Perfectly Imperfect Boys Mom said my husband and kids judge a restaurant on if they have hot fudge cakes.
Oh,
those are good too.
Remember Shoney's hot fudge cakes? Those were good.
Somebody said I missed Shoney's strawberry pie. They used to have a really good strawberry pie.
Do they still make the hot fudge cake at Shoney's?
Does Shoney's still exist?
There's one. There's one in Nashville somewhere.
Frisch's has a hot fudge cake too. If you have any Frisch's around.
Oh, that one in LA was it Burbank where we saw the original Frisch's? Big boy.
Yes.
Oh, I bet you they've got it.
Mm-hmm. That diner we ate at in Hollywood, that little diner we ate, they had good pie. I had pie. I don't remember what I had.
Oh, the one right when the kids were doing the workshops?
Yeah. Well, the one we went to that we saw the
Mel's Diner.
Mel's no, not Mel's. Okay. Mel's had the milkshakes. The little diner that was over there in the area.
It was we parked at like a church. And it was
no.
Okay.
We parked in the parking lot. It was that little diner and it was.
Was it not in Burbank?
It was in that area of Burbank, but it was Mel's Diner was over in
Hollywood.
But this one was over in Burbank, and it was that little diner, and it was just like we saw an actor there.
Oh, is that that's the one that I took Middle E back to after you left, and we saw Delta Burke's husband, who is
Gerald Rainey.
Yes, Gerald Rainey was there, and. You know, of course, Middle East, like, I have no idea who you're talking about, but I was ecstatic. I'm like, Simon and Simon right here.
Yeah.
I was so excited.
But that diner, I specifically remember the pies. They had good pies. I had pie at the when you and I ate there.
That food was so good. I don't remember the name of it, but it was near the Frisch's Big Boy.
Yes, it was.
I know. Okay. We'll wrap it up. He's making faces at me.
Well, you got to get a Biggie's lunch and head out.
We've got a lot to do, but to get going.
All righty.
We don't want to miss the pickup.
We have to leave in approximately 1 hour.
I know. So, everybody's got to have lunch and everything before we go.
He worries about his lunch. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. If you wouldn't mind to give us a like on your way out, we would appreciate it. And thank you to our members and subscribers. And thank you to Nina for our super sticker. I love that so much. And what else? You got us on the topic of pie.
I know. Now I'm starving now. All of a sudden.
We should go to Shoney's for lunch. That's what we should do.
You have a Shoney's?
Just go straight. There's one. Well, they're saying there's one in Lebanon, and somebody else was saying there's one at the airport. There used to be. I think they closed.
The one in Donald. It was like Donaldson.
Didn't they close?
I don't know.
A lot of them have been closing around Nashville over the last few years, but I know there's.
I have a funny story about that
somewhere.
There's probably a reason.
What happened to Shoney's? How did they fall off? Like they could have been like a Denny's, right? Still out there going.
Well, it's kind of like Jerry's. I don't know if you remember Jerry's, but we used to stop at Jerry's a lot when we were little kids, going back and forth from where we lived.
He doesn't know what Jerry's is. Do you know what Jerry's?
I remember.
It was
their colors were terrible. They were brown,
but
orange.
Denny's is still hanging on. Denny's is still pretty. I mean, they've got the Grand Slam breakfast, and they're still doing really well.
What about the Western Sizzling?
Oh.
Yeah.
That was good too.
Kiki, you must be from around where we were because we love the Western Sizzling.
You know what was sad to me is that when the fifth quarter, remember the fifth quarter, it went out of business. That was sad. I like that place.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah.
So there's some Shoney's still out there. That Kiki says there's one in Knoxville,
What was that
but
place?
they've just fallen off. A lot of them have
There was a
closed.
Jerry's in our hometown up until just right before he moved, and it closed.
What was that place when we were traveling together? I think we were going to DC, where you kept seeing the
Tudor's Biscuit World.
Say it
Tudor's
again.
Tudor's Biscuit World. You'll never believe this. I got to tell this story, and then you got to go. But okay,
Starflower.
Starflower.
friend
just
of
became
mine-
Becoming a member.
A friend of mine, it just retired from education, and she's on a trip. And this morning, she posts a picture at Tudor's Biscuit World.
No kidding.
Yes, and I messaged her back on Instagram and said, "I love Tudor's Biscuit World." She said, "Anytime you're driving through West Virginia or wherever, I don't know where they're going, but she was at a Tudor's," and I was like, "Oh my gosh," because I used to make fun of the name all the time, but we always saw.
Well, we drove to DC once. We took her kids.
Yeah, I remember that trip.
Well, what happened is my husband
I
couldn't go
didn't-
last minute, and we had already gotten clearance for the White House tour and had gone through
and we got to go
and
to-
the Capitol. We had a guided Capitol tour, the whole 9 yards. And I'd already gone through the legislature and, who I needed to go through at our state to get it. And he couldn't go last minute. And I was like, "Can you go? I'm not back. I don't want to miss this because we get to go to the White House and we get to go to the Capitol and we get to do the underground, tunnels, the whole 9 yards." And so
it was cool.
he was like, she's like, "Sure." And so we just jumped in the car and took off.
Well, you didn't need to go with the two kids by yourself.
No, I didn't want to go by myself. Did not.
Well, wowzer, wow. How cute. Ponderosa.
I don't know Santa
or
Fe.
Bonanza.
Depending on where you.
Ponderosa. Yes, that was a great buffet.
We had a really good one called Ryan's. I don't know if Ryan's are still around, but we had a really good one in our town called Ryan's Buffet, and it was great.
You're going to laugh. In college, I used to go to Ryan's. You could buy their rolls by the dozen with honey butter, and they were like $1.99.
They must just not be profitable because a lot of the buffet style places are the ones that are gone, right?
Well, if you
They
notice,
must
though,
be-
especially after COVID, people don't like buffets. You got hands on the spoons and the serving dishes, and it's not the most germ-free place.
Well, like cruises have even changed. You can't serve yourself on cruise lines anymore. When
No,
you go on
I just went on one. Yes, you could. I just went on one, and they had a
What?
buffet. Yes, you could dip your food and stuff
What
on a
cruise
buffet.
line?
Are you sure you weren't just helping yourself?
Celebrity.
See.
I was just
So
on
they
one.
were still doing it.
Yes.
Because everyone I've been on since 2020, you go up and they hand it to you. I've
Nope.
never had one that
I was
oh,
able
wow.
to make my salad, put my dressing on, get my
No.
desserts, all that. Yeah, no.
Well, the celebrity we went on years ago, remember? It was weird.
It was weird. This one was amazing. We had a great time. It was amazing.
Well, you were also in the
we were club level, so it was.
they were in
super-
the like really super expensive area, so maybe they had that for you guys.
Well, no, it was. We went to the general buffet for lunch twice,
Oh,
where everybody can go, but the rest of the time we went to the private.
hi
restaurant.
Kelsey.
So
See that everybody's name's different.
So did you choose Miss Kelsey, Because everybody's name today has been like different. And most of them not by choice.
No, Celebrity isn't a smaller ship. It depends on which class of ship that you cruise on. They do have some smaller ones, but the one I was on was a mid-size cruise. It wasn't their very biggest, the Edge class. It was the class below that. And
Golden Corral.
Which was kind of like the Western Sizzling.
Shoney's, you have to wear plastic gloves every time you grab a plate.
Were you
What?
kidding? Is that true or was that a joke? I saw that earlier and I wasn't sure.
She said, "No, that's not my handle."
well, and somebody
she
else
said,
says,
"No,
so-
that's
Wow-
my handle."
No,
Wow
that's my
says
handle.
Wowzers is Wowzer Wow Wow, and she says, "Why is this different?"
What is going on?
This is the weirdest. They must have been hacked.
They've been hacked.
Yeah.
They've been hacked is what something
Kiki,
has happened.
5 kids on a cruise would be expensive. They do have some cruise lines do have that you can cruise with your kids for free, but not
Yes.
5.
And you have to watch for those
Okay,
specials.
so she
Yeah.
is saying Miss Kelsey was not by choice.
So
What-
weird. It is.
How weird is this hack? Somebody's
messing with the YouTubes.
yeah, that's really strange. I wonder if this will happen if you go to other channels and post.
Oh.
And that name will, or is it just us?
I don't know. Is our name changed too?
could our
Mine,
channel have been
mine
hacked?
still says Annie 85, and that's what mine was.
I think what it is it's omitted like what your display name, and it's going straight to your at.
Registered name?
Yeah, like whatever your at is.
I changed mine in 2 different places. So, okay, you guys got to get off. You're gonna get.
Yes,
you
we have to go to camp to get the kids.
Sorry, we missed some of you guys coming
I
in
know.
late. But we're going to try to do this every Friday. Hopefully in the morning.
I would prefer to do it in the morning. But
And if you did come in late, please go back and watch the recaps because there's some really interesting stuff in the recaps.
Yeah, so we it was an interesting thing.
Yeah.
And we'll plan on Tuesday. We're going to do the story on Devlin, unless some major breaking news comes in or something like that. But otherwise, we'll do it Devlin, I think, Tuesday.
Mhm.
And
yeah, you guys go look into Devlin Tate, missing
also-
out of Michigan.
Yeah.
Also, if you have special people that are missing that you would like us to check into or do a little blurb on our recap, let us know.
Yes, we're going to be highlighting a missing person each Friday. At least for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And our email is crimecast@proton.me.
Yes. Oh, Kiki's on the way to the beach. We'll have fun.
Have fun with that.
All right, guys. Well, you have a great day. And thank you to our members and to our subscribers and also to our mods. We appreciate you guys so much. And we'll see you next time.
All right, great.
Have a
Thank you,
great
everybody.
weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Eloquent, intelligent, keeping the missing relevant with Mr. E, Mrs. E. Let's not forget the sweet and E, and of course the best Granny, unraveling these mysteries. Stay a while and share your thoughts. Help us break down this mystery. Grab a seat, we guarantee you're in wonderful company, unraveling these mysteries with Mr. and Mrs. E.